Hi, my name's Shane, and welcome to Skyline Psychology. Today I want to explore the question, can anxiety be normal? There are many videos and resources out there on how to treat anxiety and how to manage the symptoms, but I wanted to examine anxiety from a different perspective. In this video, I want to see if it's possible to normalize some experiences of anxiety and to explore whether it could be possible to live with some of the symptoms, especially if your attitude towards anxiety is that it should simply not exist, or at least not bother me. Shoo, go away. Not you again. So, normal, you say? Explain how. Well, anxiety can be a normal and natural human response to certain situations or events. It serves as a protective mechanism that prepares us to deal with potential threats or challenges. In many cases, anxiety can be adaptive and help us stay alert, focused, and motivated to perform well in situations that require heightened attention or action. So far, so good, right? Sounds useful. Consider the type of anxiety you might get before a job interview, an important exam, or a public speaking engagement, or a YouTube video. Anxiety in these situations is a common experience and a normal response to the perceived pressure or potential consequences of the situation. That also seems useful, right? Also consider that anxiety can be a natural response to real or perceived danger as part of the fight or flight mechanism. It prepares the body to react quickly in the face of a threat, releasing stress hormones such as adrenaline and increasing heart rate, breathing rate, and alertness. All good things. Okay then, smarty pants psychologist, if it's so helpful and useful, then why is it so uncomfortable? Well, dear viewer, in a house fire, you want the smoke alarm to go off, right? Where there's smoke, there's usually fire, so it makes sense. Now imagine that you're sleeping and the smoke alarm was the gentle, warm sound of a harp playing. Instead, the sound needs to be so abrasive that you can't help but want to get away from it. I think we should be discerning with the types of alarms out there and their intensity. I've noticed in my work with clients that sometimes when an alarm is experienced for the first time, and it's a particularly loud and rude one, they don't want it to ever happen again. In fact, they don't want it to happen so badly, they start to become hyper aware of all types of different alarms at all different intensities and gradually start avoiding places and things that could even remotely set off an alarm. Soon enough, they can become intolerant of even the slightest hint of an alarm. This is a kind of anxiety about anxiety or panic about panic situation. It also gives us a bit of insight into the generalizing nature of anxiety, passing across different experiences until our world becomes smaller and smaller, due to us minimizing the chances of coming across any alarms. You can see how someone may end up homebound this way, not wanting to leave their house in case they encounter an alarm. This can become a large struggle, and I talk about this in another video called The Struggle Switch. Back to the potential to normalize anxiety, I'd also like to point to another video I made called The Choice to Feel, where I make the case for allowing our feelings some space to breathe and perhaps even try connecting with them from the perspective of understanding the signals or even gifts we can get from these feelings. Like, for example, the gift of fear is wisdom. And since anxiety is fear without the fear stimulus, maybe there's still some wisdom that is worth paying attention to in the thing that seems scary at the time. So if I have to give a presentation and my mind tells me that I'll bomb, no one will like what I have to say, and they'll realize I'm a fraud, the fact that I'm assuming these things likely comes from irrational thoughts and assumptions. But the thoughts themselves tap into deeper beliefs about myself such as, if this thing were to come true, even though it's unlikely and irrational, then it would be painful for me to have to face. And so the wisdom in the fear is one of self-protection from vulnerability. I hope that all makes sense. To worry is normal. To imagine scary scenarios is normal. To get caught up in unhelpful thinking styles can be very automatic and normal. It makes sense for us to be somewhat anxious since we're fragile, vulnerable creatures with knowledge of our own mortality. We're finite beings in this seemingly infinite cosmos. All these things alone can make it difficult and scary to get out of bed on a good day. Thankfully, most of us are able to face our day with courage and purpose. Purpose is like the compass bearing we use to travel along meaningful paths, and courage is like a muscle that the more we use, we strengthen. I'll talk more about purpose and how to build courage in other videos in time to come. Wait a minute, Shane. It sounds like you're about to go into your wrap-up spiel, but I still have questions. What if my smoke alarm goes off when there's something other than smoke, like steam? Or worse yet, what if it goes off when there's no smoke or anything at all? What then? There's nothing normal about that, surely. Very good questions, my on the verge of panic but very astute viewers. At this point, I would say it's the time to call for help from a professional. During an assessment, we would apply the following criteria to see if anxiety was a clinical issue or not. The first is whether or not the issue creates dysfunction, as in it causes interference in your life. Is the alarm so loud and annoying that it stops you from doing things you'd usually do in your day-to-day life? Secondly, does it create intolerable amounts of distress? That is, how much anguish or misery you're experiencing as a result of this loud, annoying, abrasive alarm. Thirdly, we assess whether it's dangerous, as in, does the alarm put you or anyone else in danger? Is the alarm so loud and obnoxious that you might want to harm yourself or someone else? And finally, we look at deviance from the norm. We ask ourselves, are these experiences of false alarms statistically normal within the population, or even your own norms? For example, is it statistically normal for a person to be reacting to internal alarms all day long, or even a few times a day, or even statistically normal for you to experience these alarms? It's important to clarify that normal is not a judgment here, but a yardstick to compare your behavior to the average way other people and even previous versions of yourself behave out there. When the smoke detector keeps going off for no reason and starts to distress you and interfere with your life, it's probably time for a deeper dive with the help of an instructor or a psychologist, like the ones at Skyline Psychology. I hope you found this video helpful, and thank you for watching. If you liked what you heard, please like, share, and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. Drop a comment if you want to comment, or have any suggestions on other videos you might like to see. As always, for bookings and appointments, please reach us through our website, and I'll see you in the next one.